How are you? How you doing,
Hello.
Mark? How are you?
I'm great.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear it. We are away. We are in North Carolina at a resort called Graylin,
Hmm.
and it was built by the guy who was the president of Reynolds Tobacco
Oh,
in the
oh,
30s.
oh no. That looks
So
a
it's a
lot like a.
gorgeous. What? Uh-oh, am I stuck? James is stuck. I'm not stuck. All right, James is stuck. I feel better. I'm not stuck. James is stuck. Okay. Anyway, so Graylin was built in the 1930s as an estate. There
Hey.
you are. You're back.
Wait, was that me or you?
That was you. I was still going.
Oh, that was weird. I thought that was you. I thought,
No,
oh, that's our hotel thing kicking in.
no,
Yeah,
we've got really good, knock on wood, really good Wi-Fi.
that's bonkers.
So
Well,
this
hello.
is an estate. This was like someone's home. And now it has what, 82 guest rooms? Well, that's because there's several outbuildings. We're like in the manor house.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah, so when we're done, I'll take you on a tour there. It's so cool.
nice.
The
Sweet.
closet's bigger than the one in my house.
That's great. I love that.
And you know, they're redoing it. It needs some work. It's currently owned by Wake Forest University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they have a conference center and they have, you know, outbuildings and, you know, like a conference area and all that stuff, but it's like really nice. So
Nice.
we don't belong.
Right. Yeah.
I've got on my see my
Oh,
sneezer.
yeah. Right. Yeah. I did that for an interview today. I actually had a job interview today. And if
Oh,
anybody
you
follows the
did?
ongoing saga from the other show too, I had a job interview today. Yeah, with an actual company. It was shocking. It wasn't like a minimum wage company. And
Wow.
and I did it right here. And I did that typical classic Zoom. Like I was interview ready from top up, but had he had me stand
Right.
up, he'd be like, yeah, no good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were going to go downstairs after this and get something to eat because the little grill, the grill downstairs
Yeah.
is open until like the pub is open till 9 because like the actual restaurant is very, very, very nice and very expensive.
Right.
So, you know, and I'll show you my husband's so classy. We packed our own liquor. But now
Love it.
I'm
Yeah.
frozen. Now
Yeah,
I'm frozen.
Oh, I hear you though, at least.
I was
That's
just
good.
frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, you could.
Computers.
Okay. Well, I was just frozen there. It was not a flattering shot. So yay. But anyway, so we got 3 hours of sleep last night. I'm exhausted. But kudos to my hubby. He stalks, you know, prices and things like that online
Yeah.
for cars and for airlines. So because he's Premier Silver, because we have a credit card where you get miles and stuff,
Yeah.
they automatically put you to upgrade if you want to go like a bigger seat. But the plane from Newark to Greensboro, North Carolina was not full.
Right.
So
Okay.
he said, you know what the heck, for it last night, he noticed there were a bunch of seats in first class. So he just put in for a free upgrade. Free upgrade. We got it.
IT smart. I love it.
It was a 2-hour flight. I mean, it hardly was, you know,
But still,
all that exciting,
okay.
but it was still nice and it was free.
Yeah.
So you can't complain.
Right.
So it was that. Anyway, we're going to be out of here. I got to be out of here at a decent hour because I am falling asleep. Like literally, I tried so hard to take a nap, as James knows, because James texted me during that nap twice, not once, twice. And you can hear everybody walking down the hall. And as soon as I got up and said, F it, all motion in the hotel ceased and in the estate ceased.
Right. Got calm and quiet.
Right, exactly. So let's see. You know, there's a contest. First of all, if you're new to the podcast, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We love you. Please like the podcast. Go back, go to YouTube, watch old episodes. Just let them run. You don't have to pay attention to them. We're cool with that. And please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. You can get the audio for this. It's going to be a couple days because I'm not home. So the audio is not going to be uploaded to Apple Podcasts and Spotify till at least Sunday, if not Monday. Sorry, but you can always watch it on YouTube. But one of the traditions during this podcast, and the one that we have on Tuesday, which is Life with Mary Walter, same time, you watch the same way, you listen the same way, is everyone tries to be first. It's like this little rivalry that started with Bill and Al. So we always have to see who's in first. And this week it is James A.
Welcome, sir. Congratulations.
At 7:04, followed by Tina, right behind
Ta-da!
him. And then Al.
Sir?
Al saying, James, y'all can get here before me, but Mary knows I'm her biggest fan. It's so sweet. Sherry's here. She says, woo woo Thursday. Yay, Sherry. Bill is here. He says, hello,
Sir?
Queen. Sherry says, it's trippy that you're on the right side of the screen, not the left. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. It's really weird, but we're mixing it up a little bit, I guess.
Sure, I thought that in the beginning too. You are that's a good, better look though. That was a much better look.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Jerry wants to know, is it a non-smoking room? I think all rooms are non-smoking rooms. I think that's pretty much how that goes.
Yeah.
James, watch in a mirror, Sherry, that it's business as usual.
Well, we like to mix it up.
Right? Is a non-smoking room because you know irony? I don't get that.
You're anti-smoking?
I don't know. I don't get that, Jerry. I'm so sorry I missed that. Al says, James, the color is off. He looks sickly. No, he just has, James always has like a grayish color to his light. I think it's his setting. Go to the warmer tone on your light.
Do you want to be on the other side?
Sure.
I'm sorry?
Do you want to be on the other side?
Yes, I want to be on the other side.
I think you have to bring both of you.
All right, then don't worry about it.
No, just bring you both out of the stream.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna switch sides. Hang on. That's a better color for you. Hold on. Ready?
Now bring him back in.
Yay! I brought my IT department with me. Now all is right with the world. Everybody's on the right side. Yay. Okay. Tina says, we didn't get much sleep last night either, and I don't want to know. Al says, old people need more sleep. Yeah, I need more than 3 hours of sleep, Al. You're right. I'm old, and that's just the way it is. I'm not going to the bar tonight. I'm old and need more sleep. Damn it. So that's the way it is.
I'm the machine, so I'm fine.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
The machine will break at some point, but I'm good until it breaks.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all good until it breaks? So, and Jerry says the hotel was originally built by a tobacco company owner. Oh, I get it now. I get it. Yeah, there you go. He was the president. Ronaldo, which is the Reynolds estate, is across the way. Like that estate's across the way. That also is owned by, I don't know, Duke or Wake Forest or one of the universities, and it's a museum now. They have it's a big museum. So we may check that out tomorrow. So one of the things I will not do is read all of the comments once we get into this, just so that people who are listening on Apple and Spotify don't wind up nauseous from all of the interruptions. We keep some kind of train of thought with this as much as humanly possible. So we'll try to do that. I have some interesting stories, I think, like not stuff that you probably haven't heard, which is what I like to do on this show. Like sometimes if a story is really big, we delve into it. But I found some stories that I thought were really super interesting that I really didn't hear a lot about. The first one comes from Fox News.
Okay.
The Biden administration a week ago today, and I saved it, they announced a new pilot program that will allow you to sponsor a refugee directly. So like the old Sally Struthers, like to adopt a child, right? You too can sponsor a refugee.
Which, okay.
Well, would you like to know how it works?
I would love to know how it works.
All right. It's called the Welcome Corps. You would be part of the Welcome Corps. Remember, they used to have the Peace Corps, which I think they still have. Well, now you'll be part of the Welcome Corps. It's a State Department program, and it will allow groups of private American citizens to sponsor refugees through the Refugee Resettlement Program if they raise enough money, they pass background checks, and they come up with a plan on how to support the refugees. Now, the irony of that is the citizens have to pass a background check before they can sponsor refugees from places like Afghanistan and Ukraine, and especially Afghanistan, that came here with zero background checks whatsoever. No background checks for them.
Right.
But we have to pass background checks if we would like to help them.
Well, I will start with, I actually think that's a good idea. We should also just
Okay.
be background checking the refugees too. I'm fine with the idea that we're not sponsoring terrorism, or you're not some kind of, it's not some kind of inside play. That seems smart to check us, but we
But
should be checking everybody. Yeah, yeah.
right, but we brought them
We're
here.
sponsoring should be
Right.
checked too. Yeah, yeah.
But we brought them here, and we're never going to send them back. So terrorist or not, and we leave the people who helped us, our allies. We left them in Afghanistan. The program requires groups of at least 5 people to raise a minimum of $2,275 cash and in-kind contributions per refugee to secure their initial needs before they can gain employment. So you got to pay for their needs.
Right.
Why the hell are we bringing people to this country who can't support themselves? The commitment is to provide friendship, guidance, and financial support for the initial 90 days of a refugee's resettlement in the U.S. The thing I love about this is it gives the left the chance to put up or shut up. Because if you're not sponsoring a refugee, I want you to shut up. Shut up, shut up. Put your money where your mouth is, sweetheart, instead of putting my money where your mouth is. That's what we need to do.
Look,
So
we
we're
have
doing that.
talked about how, I mean, it's stuck like a government thing, but I do think charitable things and things that work better privately than they do when you're asking the government to hand over money.
100%.
I know if I'm handing a couple grand over to have a refugee, I'm going to pay attention to this person. I'm going to be, there's some investment to make sure that they have something going forward. I don't think it's irresponsible in that sense. I just think you're right. What you're going to find is how many people are going to really sponsor a refugee, right? I mean, who's going to put up a
Right. They're going to
talk.
talk the talk. They ain't going to walk the walk. They want the government to take the money from somebody else and put it towards a program that they think is worthwhile, right? I think this is worthwhile. You should pay for it.
Right.
And that's what they're going to do. Let's see. The State Department said the program is going to be in 2 phases, with the first involving the administration facilitating matches between private sponsors and refugees. So they do match you. So it's kind of like Married at First Sight. You don't know who you're getting till Omar walks through the door. The second phase it will launch in the middle of the year, and it will allow sponsors to identify refugees to refer to the agency then for resettlement. I guess when they're like socialized to America, which is a good thing, and they need to adapt when in Rome. I'm so tired that when people come here from other countries, I have to understand their culture, and I can't look and I can't be shocked, and I can't, I have to be all encompassing and all welcoming. But if I go to their country, they're going to tell me, well, you're in my country, you have to do what we do.
Yeah, look, America's a melting pot. But I think it's worse, though, if you're expecting me to understand your culture, but then you're mad at me when I want to enjoy a piece of your culture because you live in America and we're a melting pot, right? Like, cultural misappropriation is a real sticky subject for me because it's real. Nobody's doing my thing, but you get my point. It's a weird thing.
So I have to tell
we're
you,
the only ones that care. Like, only liberals would care about that. Like, foreigners don't care about that. No, nobody actually from those cultures necessarily cares about that. It's more.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I was in Costco earlier this week, and for the first time ever, now I've seen this in Virginia, Tyson's Corner, like that area. It's very big and scared the living daylights out of me. I turn a corner and there are 2 women head to toe with men, of course, accompanying them, head to toe covered. Couldn't see a thing. It was like I made a right-hand turn into Iraq. I'm telling you, I don't care if it's culturally insensitive. I don't give a rat's butt. Seeing that in Costco where I've never seen it before scared the crap out of me. I was like, because it's really scary. Head to toe black. One of them was head to toe red. She had like a very trendy maroon on, I guess. But the rest was black. And there's just 2 tiny little eye slits. And I was like, oh, like it's scary. But I'm supposed to pretend like, oh, totally cool. Happens all the time. See it all the time. But if I was in their country dressed the way I would in my country, they would stone me.
Right.
Right. But you're not supposed to look. But you could see people walking by going, try not to look because you don't want to be seen looking because you don't want to be, God forbid I offend somebody. But I will tell you, those outfits, I'm sorry, maybe I'm a cultural idiot. They are effing scary. They're scary, scary, scary. When you see someone dressed in that, I don't care. It's very off-putting.
I imagine if you're, that's got to be tough if you're a feminist because clearly it represents everything as a feminist. You're not, all kind of. But then as an American, we have this thing, and I'm not saying you have to like it or even enjoy it, but we have this thing in America where you get to do you, right? Like you're not technically breaking any laws, and you're not hurting anybody. It might seem like oppression to us, but as long as we don't know there's not any real harm happening, you get to live your weirdo way, or I shouldn't call it a weirdo way, but you know what I mean. Like you get to live your way that's different from the way we live. But I'm just imagine the weird juxtaposition for people who were like really socially liberal and very pro women's rights, but you're also in America, we have American rights, and you got to let people live the way they live, right? It's got to be a tough one.
Yes, but by the same token, I have the right to go, holy crap, right?
Absolutely,
because if you're dressed in a way that I'm not going to see, don't come. The left will tell me that I'm culturally insensitive and I'm this and I'm that and blah blah blah, everything else, because I'm a horrible person because I walked around the corner and went, oh, and I wanted to grab my phone and go, what the holy hell is happening in Costco, right? It was very, very, very off-putting. Anyway, so let's see. Sherry says the coyotes don't get background checks. Exactly. James, as a de facto guardian, does that make you also legally responsible for any crimes they may commit? And I think they should. If you're their de facto guardian, why are you not responsible for crimes they can commit? Right? That they may commit when my grandparents came to this country, my grandparents had to have a sponsor when they came to this country. And that person was responsible for making sure they had jobs. They had to make sure that they were working, they were learning English, that were learning how to read, write, and speak English. That person was responsible for them. And if they knew that if they lost their job, that they would be deported. That was it. You're not allowed to collect any kind of welfare, not that it existed back then. Like they weren't allowed to do anything. And toot sweet, back to Germany you went if you can't support yourself. Bye-bye. Off you go.
Yeah.
So I like that idea.
Yeah.
Mary's got a real good look. Oh, Al, I did my hair at 4 a.m. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. I ran a brush through it before I came on the air. I'm so tired. Sherry says, I saw a woman wearing a full burqa swimming in the springs. The men, of course, now that they are here, can wear whatever they want, though. Yeah, yep. And I'm with Sherry. I don't know that these women necessarily want to wear this, but I think that their culture is that the men tell them what they will wear. It's not women enforcing burqas on women in Iran. It's the men enforcing it on them. So I think there's a lot of them who are in those families, and I could be wrong, who wear them just because they have to. I don't think they have a choice. A lot of these women. I think if given the choice, look at the way Iran used to be back in the 70s under the Shah. Those women were stylish and then beautiful and makeup and hair, and they dressed Western and everything else. And then they were forced into it. So when they come to this country, I don't know that they do it necessarily, all of them voluntarily. My hunch is that a vast majority of them, if they had the option, wouldn't do it.
Hey, and remember when the Taliban said they took back over, that they were going to account for women living in a more modern way because they were a new Taliban, and that lasted all of 35 hours.
Well, only Joe Biden, only Joe Biden would believe that. So
yeah.
The State Department is aiming to mobilize 10,000 Americans to help with at least 5,000 refugees. And they're going to be supported by a consortium of non-profits with expert in the area, and that consortium will help with vetting, training, and monitoring of the program. Of course, the Biden administration has dramatically raised the limits on refugee resettlement. Trump was 15,000, Biden it's 125,000, but they say so far refugee resettlements have not come close to meeting that level. So
does that mean the rest of the people are just running around not as refugees?
I think the rest of the people are just, now there's an app, the Biden administration launched an app that you can go onto on your phone and apply to come in because, as a refugee or because for a hardship, and you just fill it out on the app and then you just walk in and go, I got the app. Kind of like, we have TSA pre-check. So we're making
New Jersey, they can get a driver's license, so sure. Why not?
It's ridiculous.
Go on the app, move to Jersey, get a driver's license.
Here you go. James wants to know, is that a sock monkey mug, which people who are listening to the podcast cannot hear, but yes, it's a sock monkey mug that James is drinking out of.
Coffee.
They can't see it, rather. All right, so more about refugees. Sherry says illegal immigration, there's an ad for that. Yes, there is. Let me go over to get her. Okay, we're good there. All right. Sorry, a little discombobulated doing it this way because things are set up differently for me. So I'm a little sorry about that. Trying to get it. Okay. So there's more. So listen to this, Joe Biden brought all those Afghan refugees over here. No clue who anybody was. It was supposed to be all of our friends and those who helped us and who had been vetted and we knew who they were.
Yeah,
And it
there's
was
some of
just
those.
there's some of them, but
Yeah.
a lot of them, of course, are being killed and tortured because they helped the Americans and we left them there to die because Joe Biden.
Quick break in. Some of those people, especially like the Afghan Special Forces, are now working for groups like countries like Iran as hired guns. Because we just left them there. We trained them to be top tier operators and then said, well, good luck. And they ran and hid from the mountains and ended up in countries like Iran. And they're now working on a for pay basis because they can do that. And thank God we trained them. I mean, so they can work for a country like Iran and get jobs.
Yeah, and kill Americans. So yay, Joe Biden. Yeah. Way to go, Joe.
Our ex-buddies.
Well, on top of that, about 50,000 Afghans that the administration brought into the country without vetting, and they housed them on 5 military bases for months through 21 and into early 22. Those 50,000 Afghans have cost taxpayers almost $200 million in damages to their living quarters in the base where they're staying. Hanging
too many pictures?
Yeah, that's what it was. My father there with the toothpaste. I told you not to put holes in the wall. So Biden has resettled more than 86,000 Afghans in American communities. And we said many of them have never been screened or interviewed beforehand. No clue who these people are. So tens of thousands were housed initially at 8 U.S. military bases, including 50,000 who were specifically placed at Fort Bliss in Texas, Fort Lee in Virginia, Fort McCoy in Wisconsin, Fort Pickett in Virginia, and Camp Atterbury in Indiana. Officials at those 5 bases, according to the DOD Inspector General, who did a report on this, they noted nearly $190 million in damages, which taxpayers now have to pay for repairs, thanks to these refugees. So we bring you into this country and you trash it. This is like what's happening in New York with all the illegals that they're bussing in. They're putting them up in hotels. They're throwing the food out. They're trashing the rooms. They're having sex in the stairways. And then when they throw them out and say, well, you're going over here, they won't leave.
So it's like the after party from a Led Zeppelin show? Really? Great.
Yeah. And we're paying and we're paying for it. This is like, if you're like, well, it's a melting pot. See, when you do it this way, it's not a melting pot. It's a stew pot. These people don't meld in. These people don't. It's like a salad. The tomatoes never become lettuce. They never really become one. You know what I mean? They don't assimilate to American culture. They just don't over time. It just doesn't happen.
I've said a million times, I know there's been various times the military has had these kind of programs come on and off, but I've said for a million years, the Spanish and the French have the Foreign Legion. And that's an amazing program for people who want to come into that country. You spend 6 years, they train you to be military. You're the military's first people out, though. I mean, there's a problem. The French don't send their first division. They send the Foreign Legion. But
there you go.
You also have to, it's a forced way to assimilate with the culture. You're buddy with people who speak your language and they teach you English. So you learn how to hear commands in the native language of the country you're in. You have to assimilate culturally because you've now become a citizen of that country in a way that you're with people in, combat conditions. So, the way a military brings you into a country, into a thing. I mean, it's a brilliant idea, but we've just never been that smart.
Well, in this country, forcing them to learn English or earning any kind of citizenship is racist, and how dare you? Right. You're against Black and brown people because you're a white supremacist.
Instead of, we're going to spend thousands of dollars to make you a good citizen by helping us out the way we need and suffering the way our people are also going out and, serving. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. So done that we would call that racist. And you're 100% right, too. They would literally think that's racist.
Yep,
I don't know.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
Jerry says, under this program, they don't have to live like a refugee, or am I just being petty?
Oh, I'm such a Tom Petty fan. People don't get that. Just listen to Refugee by Tom Petty.
That's great. Really that's fantastic. Awesome. Al says, one would think that on a military base, there would be discipline. Yes, there would, Al. One would think so, but apparently that's culturally insensitive. Okay. In Wisconsin at Fort McCoy, they suffered the most damage. housing over 12,700 Afghans who stayed at the facility. In total, those 12,700 Afghans caused more than 145 million in damages. You're talking more than $1 million per refugee.
I can't. Well, I can't imagine what the damages are. I would love to know what they were doing.
Including issues with walls, ceilings, floors, doors, bathrooms, plumbing, electrical systems, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, exterior siding, and most of the facility's barracks. They just destroyed them. They caused over $2 million per refugee.
Wow.
More than $3 million per refugee. And we're going to reward them by putting them into the country? I'm sorry. How does that happen?
I think we did.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to. I think we already did.
It's ridiculous. Let's see. At Fort Bliss, they caused $575,000 in damages to mattresses and beds. Fort Lee, there were $632,000 in damages to floors, ceiling tiles, and electrical systems. At Fort Pickett, they caused more than $26 million in damages to walls, doors, plumbing, HVAC systems, fire alarms, and other items. Camp Atterbury, $16 million to replace mattresses and furniture, as well as repairing floors, doors, windows, plumbing, fire alarms, and landscaping. So yeah. All right.
Well, a little money.
Yeah. All right. One more immigration story, and then we'll move on. So Governor Newsom ratified a bill, SB 960. It was put up by another Democrat, Senator Nancy Skinner. And he ratified this September 29th, 2022. And it went into effect January 1st. And what it means is that in California, they scrapped the requirement that police, highway patrol, and corrections officers have to be U.S. citizens or permanent residents. James A question, maybe electricity and we're running water is something new and scary. That doesn't mean that you destroy it.
You can't blow up a sink because you've never seen one.
What are they doing? Yeah, what are they doing with that stuff? Among the categories of work authorized non-citizens will be that would likely be eligible are permanent workers, immigrant visa-based unemployment, asylees, and refugees, and individuals who are protected under the program of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Refugees. Based on that definition, they say certain illegal aliens criminally trespassing in the U.S. could become police officers. But yet citizens who have broken the law cannot become police officers. And so someone in the country illegally, who has arrived in the country illegally, would have the authority to detain you or give you a ticket. Now they're saying what they're not thinking about here is, of course, the insanity of all this. But the spokesperson for Senator Skinner says that only allows non-citizens with full federal legal work authorization to become police officers in California. He said the law expressly states that foreign nationals applying for American police jobs in California must be legally authorized to work in the United States under federal law. So, the Blaze points out here that the big problem that comes, of course, is that not all criminal non-citizens may be able to do this, but it takes away jobs from American citizens and gives them to non-citizens, which I'm pretty sure is the point of everything that's happening in this country right now. But a lot of non-citizens haven't grown up here, and they don't understand the Constitution. They don't understand how the judicial system works or how the American government works. So we're going to give them a badge and a gun and tell them to go out and stop American citizens. Like this is the world turned upside down.
It does seem odd that you give somebody who isn't, yet a citizen the ability to, prosecute the law. It seems very questionable at best. Even if they're in good standing, that seems questionable.
It does. I don't understand how, but it's California, Sherry says dropping that requirement is insane. How do you know someone is in cartel and helping hide crimes? Exactly. We got enough problems with actual homegrown American officers who sometimes get involved in that stuff.
Yeah, they could come over here, get trained, right? They pick up all the training. That's happened with people, that military program I'm talking about, people who've come and gotten trained and gone back and used the training they've gotten here for, not good purposes. I'm not saying it's everyone, but I mean, it's happened. It certainly happens. I mean, I'm saying, like, why would you open a program that people who could come over just to get trained use
Right.
those skills against us?
Yeah. Well,
I think you'd have to become a citizen first. And I think it's okay to say, like, I became a citizen and then became a policeman. Even if you came here illegally and somehow fixed it and righted it, I'd be fine with that. But I still think
Right.
you'd have to be a citizen to be a policeman.
one would think. Scott chimes
Seems
in
weird.
over on Getter. He said, I've heard that it's not a crime and it's just a civil thing that crossing the border illegally. That it is, I think it's a misdemeanor, which it should be more than that. And John wants to know where you're not where you normally are. Did you move? You're going to have to go back and watch the beginning of the show. There you go.
That's the secret vault that she has in her house that nobody knows about.
That's right. Exactly. Al, everything you've said on the subject could be listed as a reason why Americans need to be armed. James A, isn't there normally certain background checks to pass before gaining employment in those kinds of fields? Yeah, but if they're going to waive them, I guess I just don't even know what to say.
I hope they waive them. Then I could be a policeman.
No, probably the laws apply to you. It's kind of like if you want to adopt an immigrant or adopt a refugee, you have to pass a background check. They don't. We don't know who they are. We just brought them in from Afghanistan or Ukraine, wherever. Not saying all those people are bad, but I'm just saying it's kind of like rolling the dice. You know, you see the analogy, like, okay, well, if only some of them are bad or only some of them are terrorists, I'm going to put out a bowl of M&Ms, and only some of them are poisoned. Still going to take a handful? Probably not.
Hey, we all like Russian roulette. You know, everybody likes the excitement.
No. It's a big no for me. All right. We are moving along swimmingly. This is great. Moving along. Okay, because then I'll give you a little tour of where I am. My husband disappeared. He's either in the bathroom or the closet. I don't know where he is. Or he left and I didn't know it. Okay, so what?
Okay. I was glad I said, we get to talk about the story where Hunter's fighting back. Fighting his.
Oh, I know. What was I going to do? Bring it up. I haven't read the whole thing. I saw it come up.
Again, if you watch the show in Recurring Saga, I worked at for a news talk station, and I was very involved in news. And then the second I didn't go there anymore, I've lost a little ability of the news. So it just happened to be I was flipping through something on Facebook and stopped on it, and it was a girl going, "See, I told you, Hunter's right." And it was the story about Hunter's hiring the lawyers and trying to get an investigation started so he can prove his innocence. And I'm like, that's hilarious. I'm like, that's fantastic. I'm like, great, let's do that then. Yeah, let's do exactly what you're saying. You're saying supposedly what he's saying to do. Okay, good luck.
Well, the best part of that is that he admitted that the laptop's his.
Right.
Right? I thought it was Russian disinformation. Didn't those 50 FBI guys, all those law enforcement guys high up there in the alphabet agency sign a letter saying it was Russian disinformation? How can that be?
Well, this is the problem. We've said this a million times. This is the problem of the country having segmented news based off your loyalty to a particular party, right? That inevitably both sides are going to get some news and a lot of news that's sort of filtered their way, right? And boy, if you read the way she's getting it from her news sources, it's that they've proved that there was nothing on the laptop. And this whole thing is, some kind of Republican smear campaign, right?
Yeah. Just like, they're going to get him for the payoff to Stormy Daniels. I'm like, they've already decided this was tried with John Edwards, and Trump supposedly paid her off with $136,000, right? But he was $1 million to keep Riel Hunter, the mother of his love child, quiet with campaign funds. He didn't go to jail. AOC, she didn't go to jail. Her guy, Chakrabarti, did go to jail. Stop it. And those were all misuse of campaign funds, over $1 million. And you're going to go after Trump for $136,000. Stop. He's not. But it's kind of fun to watch them dance and just lose they wake up every single morning and set their hair on fire.
So take the same thing with classified documents, right? Maybe nobody goes to jail over this, right? Because obviously they're showing all these other people have it. Or you could be like me and say, fry them all. I'm fine with frying everybody, but you should probably even it out one way or another, right? And the same thing with their campaign funds. Fry them all then. Go back and fry those people too. Like, fry everybody.
Yeah.
Well, don't fry anybody, but I'm always good. I'm always good for just hanging everybody. I'm about there. I'm sure Al might agree with me here. Maybe we should just start hanging people, Maybe it's time to start hanging people for all these things.
Don't say that. We are not advocating hanging anyone.
No,
it
we're
is
definitely not truly.
Yes.
It's
a turn of phrase before you lose your little mind. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, fire them all, prosecute them all. Yeah, hang them.
Right.
Literally hang them. I just meant justice. Exactly. Yeah. And then we live in a weird world. You actually have to say that now.
I know, because people have there's no such thing as nuance or anything, and nobody has a sense of humor anymore. So there's that too. So
I'll just be reading when I'm getting canceled. I'm saying, and he literally said, "Hang them all," multiple times.
Oh, all right. CBS and Washington Examiner and a whole bunch of outlets are reporting this. Did you see Adam Kinzinger? That man, I can't. No. You know who he is, right? January 6th committee cries all the time. That guy, right? So he's now a former representative, former congressman, because he knew he was going to get primaried, so he punched out. He's like, I'm out. I'm just not going to go for re-election, and this is the hill that I'm planting my flag. Get Trump, and that didn't work too well. He is selling limited edition signed copies of the January 6th committee's final report for $100. He's doing it through his political action website.
Oh, I hope at the end you were going to say that this wasn't completely unsavory, that it said, and it's all going to charity.
Right. Supposedly it's all going to charity. That's what he says. Well,
really?
No. Well, I'll tell you. Here's what his website's a Kinzinger's Country First PAC. This hardbound copy of the historical record is offered as a limited edition and signed by Congressman Adam Kinzinger, who served on the committee. All proceeds will benefit charitable organizations working to uphold and defend democracy in America. So in other words, the DNC or some other Democrat, liberal, left-leaning charity is where the money's going. But for that liberal in your life, this is like the best gift. They'll love it. They'll absolutely love it. And it's fantastic. I don't want to put money in his pocket, but it is kind of also one of those, I know you're insane, so I got you something appropriate gifts.
I really liked, I would have liked, had I heard that and I'm giving all the money to cancer charities.
Right.
I'd be like, see what I mean? Like, maybe he is trying to do something sweet. No. What a way to filter money, huh?
Exactly. He's just such a creature. Tina says you're going to get us tagged for violence. Al says, come on, James, there's instructions on shampoo. All right. He goes on to say, the website says, on January 6, 2021, the United States came perilously close to losing its democracy. A mob instigated by the President of the United States violently, which, by the way, his little committee never proved. But you could say it anyway. Violently attacked the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., seeking to disrupt the certification of the electors in the presidential election and prevent the peaceful transfer of power for the first time in American history. This is a description for the limited edition book reads, or you could just get it off the internet and print it out yourself. But then it's not signed by Adam Kinzinger, and you definitely bound. Yeah, you do want that, I'm sure.
I love binding.
Don't want to know. Al says America has never been a democracy. This is true. It is a representative republic. Kinzinger's PAC is also selling a whole bunch of other merchandise, including sweaters, hats, cups, crop tops, and more to promote Country First. I wonder if he's like Adam Kinzinger tissues because he's always crying. He was always like Adam Kinzinger tissues would be really funny. His PAC is also selling, a lot of all those other things. And it's always America First. What is it? Country First. That's like his tagline, Country First. Trump has MAGA. He's got Country First.
Now, is it a super PAC or a PAC? Because I'm always confused about the which. Always confused. Oh, you froze. Or I froze.
We're back.
You're back. You were in a good spot there, too. You were like...
We're back. We lost both of us for a hot second there. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate everyone putting up with this. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm away and at a wedding this weekend, and James is still home, and was going to have our house sinner, I say a kid, he's like 30. I should have had him do it just hooked us up from the house and do everything. Trump could market Kinzinger tissues. Yes, Sherry, that's a great idea. All right, last piece comes out of Fox, and we'll do a little tour because it's really fun. This is fun little room. I would love to take you around the estate, but they might frown on that, especially since I have pajama bottoms on. It's very nice. So there's no dress code, not like when we went to the Union League. We stayed at the Union League in Philly. That had a dress code.
Wow.
You couldn't wear jeans on the main floor. Men had to wear a button-down shirt. Like, to leave the room and go to the main floor, you couldn't have jeans on, and certainly not pajama bottoms like I have on now.
Sweats are out.
So Al Sharpton was on Firing Line on PBS with host Margaret Hoover, and she asked him, "Was that you, Doug?" Oh, okay. He dropped his phone.
Not a ghost.
I thought someone was trying to come in. So the host, Margaret Hoover, asked him his opinion on the Tawana Brawley case, and she said, has his opinion changed in the last 35 years on the Tawana Brawley case, which we all know was a hoax, right? That was all, and that's where Al Sharpton really rose to fame as a race hustler, right? That's where he did his thing. He said, absolutely not. In a shock to no one. He's not at all, hasn't changed his mind at all. I have no evidence that I was misled. What, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He repeatedly argued with her that the Brawley case should have gone to trial instead of being found a hoax by a grand jury. He said, I don't have any different understanding because a grand jury is not a trial. He said, my position was that there was this allegation from this young lady that was really questionable behavior by some that she accused. And he was referring to, she accused 6 white men who were eventually found falsely accused of raping her after she ruined their lives. After, one of them had to, I think 2 of them wound up Pagonis and another one wound up suing her and winning. Remember, what was it? Bill Cosby gave her a gold Rolex watch. Everybody like, oh, she must be believed, and it turned out to be all BS. Let's see. And some of those were police officers. They had their lives and their careers ruined. They were ruined by this woman and by Al Sharpton. He said Brawley deserved to have her day in court. He said there's a famous saying by a judge in New York: you can indict a ham sandwich if you want to. And clearly he couldn't get a trial out of it. Yeah, she said she was left wrapped in a plastic bag. She had come home. She was like 14, 15 years old. And the theory was this was her way of, of just being out all night and not wanting to tell her.
Right. Not gonna get in trouble. Yeah.
And that was that, so that's what she did. Let me see if there's any comments over here. Let's see. Scotty says, I'm curious to know how much people donate to the political party checkbox on the tax form. That's a great question. Does anybody donate to that? That's a really good question.
Well, me, I support no part. No, I wouldn't donate to anybody.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. So
that's good.
I would.
They got enough money. They don't need mine. They're good.
Yeah, they just don't spend, and the RNC doesn't spend it on the people I want them to spend it on, so why should I give them more money? Hey, Doug, you want to come help me turn this around? He's studying in the bathroom.
I'll tell
We're
you,
losing this.
No matter what you think of Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, the thing to check out that they did that was brilliant was when they showed you how super PACs work.
Yeah, I want to walk right there. We're back. So.
Oh, welcome back. Oh,
yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. All right. So so he's going to help me turn this around. So bear with us.
Here we go.
Settings, camera.
Dun, dun, dun.
One more. There we go. Is that it? Okay.
Hey.
Yay. Okay. I had to unplug. All right. So you ready?
Yep.
So it's upside down. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. So you come in here. Ready? So you come in here. Wait, let me show you the hall. Really? Okay.
Whoa, that's fantastic. That is old school.
Look at this.
Yeah, that is old
ready?
School.
Look at this. Wait, let me go out this way. I have no shoes on.
That's outstanding.
Isn't that
Wow.
cool?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That ceiling is amazing and huge. Stairwell's really nice too. That's a beautiful
Isn't this-
stairway.
Okay,
Big
so I gotta go
spirals
back in
with
the
it.
room. Gotta go
All right.
back in the room. Hold on.
Old
Hold
school
on.
hard floors, that cool old carpet.
Oh yeah. This was a house. This was somebody's house before income tax. So you come in, right? And here's the room.
Nice.
There we go. There's hubby. There he is. And you come over here. He moved the desk and everything, so we over there. It's got a fireplace with a nice marble. I mean, you can't really use it,
Right. But still,
obviously.
it's pretty.
So you come in here. Look at this. Check this out. Hold on.
Holy
Look at this closet.
crap.
Look at this closet. Look at
That's
this thing.
bonkers. That's your
got a-
hotel room closet.
It's a place. Yeah. Well, it's an estate. It's not really a hotel. This was someone's room.
Yeah. Right.
It's a guest room.
Right. Yeah.
So where you put you put little shoe rack thing, and you come in here. Look at this. It's got
That's
storage up there. Because if you were living here,
yeah.
look at this. It's my
That's
jumpsuit. Oh, and over here. Here's what we have. See, we brought our own liquor.
I like it. There we are. Oh,
Big closet. More
Yeah.
closet than I have in my house.
that's intense.
And it goes up all the way here too. It's insane. Okay. So now the mirror makes me happy. Wait till you check out this bathroom. It's insane. Okay. Nice chair. This great easy. You can tell it's falling apart. But so look at this
Yeah.
bathroom. Look at
That's
this.
intense. That's amazing. That is some bathroom.
It's all the original. All right, ready? So you've got like the really nice the sconces over there. Look
Yeah.
at this shower. Is that insane?
That's amazing. But they don't
Look
have
at that
water pressure
tile
systems.
work.
Yeah.
Look at that tile. I mean, you're gonna
That's
kill
intense.
yourself getting in and out of this thing because it's like up. It comes up to like my thigh, like just above my knee. So getting in and out of this thing is gonna be a feat. But
Right.
look at this thing. They took out where it goes a tub too. But look at that.
Right.
And the attention to detail is insane.
Yeah, that tile's awesome.
Isn't this crazy?
It is intense.
Like a little 1930s toilet. It looks like they
Yeah.
replaced it with like an industrial toilet. And again, this is all plaster.
Wow. The detail work is
nuts.
insane. Yeah.
It is. It's
That's
crazy. Look at that. This is all tile.
Wow.
Double over there.
You don't see like that anymore.
I just love architecture, so it's
Yeah.
around the door. It's all around the door.
That's crazy. These people have money. Real money.
The guy was the president of R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, so back in the
Yeah.
30s.
Yeah, there was some money there.
Yeah. So, all right, how do I do this? I go back to here. Camera 2, 1 facing front. This way?
To read the second one.
That one? Okay, we're back. So, all right, we're leaving. Goodbye, everybody.
Enjoy your
It was
time.
good. It was good seeing you all. Hold on, let me see if anybody's got some comments here. Let's see. Oh, I had to put it down. Sorry. Tina says that place is bigger than our entire apartment. Ow! I just killed my foot. Ah.
Good time.
Sherry says that place is beautiful. It is. It's insane. It's crazy, crazy beautiful, which is why we are not fit to go downstairs. Or staying in our room and gonna go to bed. But what did she say? She said put a small towel on the edge of the tub, sit down on it, and swing your feet over. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like this big, because it was a tub too, so it's a shower and a tub, so that's why it's so high. All right, so we'll see you on Tuesday. Now Monday I will be on the Chris Salcedo show between 4:30 and 1:25 Eastern time. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm in for David Webb on Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125 from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Tuesday night, we will be back here for Life with Mary Walter, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time here live on Getter and YouTube. And I will get the audio up on Spotify and Apple, but probably when we get back, right? Right. Well, Doug says my hubby says we could do it sooner. We'll
Nice.
see. We'll see.
Quick plug too for I have a friend who runs a really good military charity called Arms Artisan. My friend Tori Fisher, she also runs a really good veteran-owned brewery called Backwards Flag, and they just started a podcast for the charity. I guess to talk about veterans issues and stuff.
Nice.
And, so I just thought I'd give her a little plug because it's a military thing, and she's
absolutely.
She's a badass, by the way.
And what's it called?
It's called Backward Flags Brewing. Backward Flag, BC Flag Brewing Companies, and the initials. Yeah, if you just look up on YouTube, Backward Flags Brewing Company, their thing will pop up. They just did their first episode, so they're all
fantastic! That's great. Yeah, I love it.
And it's a great charity. Her charity is awesome. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic. I love that. So, so like I said, Monday, Chris Salcedo show on Newsmax between 4:30 and 5. Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 a.m. to noon on Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125. Tuesday night, we will be back here. Well, I won't be here. I'll be back home. We'll be back to do Life with Mary Walter 7:15 on all of the usual channels. So thank you so much for joining us. Bye.